Pay close attention to the graphic off my right, especially the four words at the top because you're going to see them often. Macular pigment optical density, MPOD. So you need to see MP for macular pigment or MPOD for optical density, MPOD, macular pigment optical density. And don't be concerned, it's quite an easy research article to review, and it all comes to light, no pun intended, as we delve into it. Now, what you're looking at right here is a graphic in association to sports, obviously baseball. But you're going to find the lutein and zeaxanthin, or zeaxanthin, depending on your preference of pronunciation, evolves or encompasses so much more, from everything to reaction speed, cognition, you name it, all the way down the line. So not only the ability to see things in the distance, potentially coming at you, but to react faster to those elements in the distance to a more positive outcome. And you're going to find out they worked with pilots and as well as to sharpshooters, basketball players, baseball players, so on and so forth. And what you're going to find interesting before we go into the research as well in reference to the macular pigment optical density, the ability, for example, in the case of pilots, studied in the 1980s, there was up to a 30% variation, meaning the pilots you're getting in the plane with, one can see oncoming air traffic 1/3 farther than the other ones, per se, without interjecting publisher bias. In real world, let's say you're playing a video game, you can either play on a 24-inch screen or a 16-inch screen as far as comparison. But again, macular pigment optical density, focus on those words, no pun intended once again. Let's get right into the research as follows. Colorful foods improve athletes' vision. Visual range is a critical asset for top athletes in almost any sport, as well as life itself. When a person absorbs lutein and zeaxanthin, the compounds collect as yellow pigments in the retina and act as a filter to prevent blue light from entering the eye, giving you contrast. Previous work has been done testing the visual range of pilots, as we alluded to in the beginning, and the researchers have done more recent studies on how macular pigment density, or how much yellow pigment is built up in the retina, is linked to a number of measures of eye health and functional vision tests. Quoting, in a long series of studies, we have shown that increasing amounts of lutein and zeaxanthin in the retina and brain decrease glare disability and discomfort, improve chromatic contrast in visual motor reaction time, and supplementing these compounds facilitates executive functions like problem solving and memory. All these tasks are particularly important for athletes. Again, alluding to the real world, you have oncoming traffic, you have a small kitten in the road, you're able to basically rationalize what's going on or identify the problem faster and avoid that small kitten, whatever the possible hazard is at the time. To proceed, again, MPOD, macular pigment, optical density, MP, macular pigment. We're going to go right into the delve into the full research because it actually has some quite interesting curiosities. To proceed, most prehistoric diets were largely plant-based and likely contained a variety of carotenoid-rich foods, carotenoid, we'll use here. The researchers studied the dietary habits of indigenous Fijians and found that the average intake of lutein and zeaxanthin was approximately, ready for this, 24,000 milligrams, or 24 grams a day. This is contrasted with the American diet where lutein and zeaxanthin is approximately, that little squiggly U you see there stands for microgram. That's 1,000 micrograms. How many micrograms in a milligram? 1 milligram. So average American diet, 1 milligram of lutein and zeaxanthin. Average Fijian diet, 24,000 milligrams of lutein and zeaxanthin. You see the contrast there. No pun. Various empirical studies have shown a direct link between dietary intake of lutein and zeaxanthin and macular pigment optical density levels. When intake is high, MPOD is also high. For example, at 460 nanometers, the peak wavelength of skylight, over 90% of the blue light, can be filtered before reaching the photoreceptors. So in the distance, that ball is coming at you like the original graphic, you see it faster. The system compensates for such absorbance by increasing gain. The competition and travel schedule of many elite athletes mean that, like most Americans, however, their intake of carotenoid-rich foods is very low. In fact, here, pitifully low. Since the pigments can be delivered via supplements and levels in the eye retina, can be non-invasively monitored, blinded, randomized trials comparing the effects of lutein and zeaxanthin supplementation with those of inert placebos, things that do nothing, have been conducted. The effects that were studied range from those that were more centrally mediated, reaction time, visual motor function, executive cognition, to those mostly mediated by the eye itself, glare disability, discomfort, photostress, chromatic contrast, invisibility, visual range. Many of these functions obviously translate to sports performance, but again, very important in life, everyday life itself. Now, I'm going to take a few examples of the research that they compiled for us because these are real important tidbits of information. To proceed, excerpt 1. They showed that participants across the lifespan with higher MPOD had better balance ability, reaction time, and coincidence anticipation ability, or the ability to coincide a movement, such as swinging a bat, or in real world, navigating your way down a grocery aisle, with a visual stimulus to ball at the correct location. Of course, all these functions contribute to sports performance. The determinants of success in athletic competition are often at the millisecond level, where even small differences in processing efficiency account for meaningful differences in performance. Again, in the real world, this applies in many arenas. Excerpt 2. This has to deal with younger individuals who think that all because younger they're operating at peak proficiency. What the researchers are alluding here is you can be great, but the potential for greatness lies before you, potentially with the addition of raising your lutein and zeaxanthin levels. That's publisher bias, but still just the same. They found that despite young and healthy samples whose brains tended to already operate at peak efficiency, supplementing formulation containing lutein and zeaxanthin compared with a placebo resulted in improved visual processing speeds, coincidence anticipation, and reaction time. The brain of an athlete, often also young and healthy, could similarly benefit its apparent efficient operation, as improvements in these measured abilities could dramatically influence and bolster athletic performance. Moreover, several neuroimaging studies have shown that higher order effects of lutein and zeaxanthin are tied to direct effects of these carotenoids on the brain tissue itself. Now to conclude. If macular pigment optical density does lead to better outdoor vision, it is likely that many athletes across a range of outdoor sports see less well than they could. A benign and relatively low-effort dietary intervention would be simply to eat more carotenoid-rich foods, optimally consuming 6 milligrams of lutein and zeaxanthin a day. Increasing retinal and brain levels of lutein and zeaxanthin, or zeaxanthin, depending on your preference, would improve visual and cognitive performance while protecting athletes from a range of common injuries, ranging from actinic eye, skin damage, or brain injury, i.e. ball heading at your head, reaction speed being fast, dodge the ball, mitigate the hazard, so to say. But also, too, you can see as well, real life. Balls fly in the air in the real world, too. Golf, baseball, so on and so forth. Things where you can mitigate those hazards, or I should say identify the hazards faster and react to them faster as well, just by helping boost the lutein and zeaxanthin in the diet, giving you better cognitive or faster cognitive performance. Let's put it that way, without interjecting publisher bias outside the range of the actual study itself. But again, gratitude for the researchers bringing this to our attention, because it reminds us of the importance of these carotenoids, especially lutein and zeaxanthin, in the diet, and also too the challenges in our Western diet in improving these levels on its own. As well, too, I am very humbled you watch, and look forward to see you all once again next week. Catch you all next time. See you then. Goodbye.